We're here at Middlebury College campus in Middlebury, Vermont, where on February the 5th, 19-year-old freshman Nicholas Garza disappeared without a trace. It's been 1 month and no new clues have turned up. But we're not here to talk about his disappearance. We're here to talk about his life. So we spoke to his family and friends about who Nicholas Garza is.
You got a sincere person when you first met Nick.
When you looked at him, he was looking right back at you. He was present behind his eyes, even as a tiny, tiny child.
I remember people meeting him, friends of mine, that would say, he has such a good energy about him. When I met Nick 19 years ago, I not only fell so profoundly in love with him, but he was just always sure of himself, confident, and kind and gentle, and he was just an old soul.
His mom was really upset, and she was crying, and she had really long hair, and she put her head down, and her hair came all down over her face, and he crawled kind of over to her, and he parted her hair with his hand, and then he just put his other hand on her cheek, and I was thinking, this isn't a normal kid at all, you know. He drew this picture of our grandma soon after my grandma died. And so I had his drawing tattooed on my back. And I told him, so this must have been when he was 3, I told him, you know, I got that drawing of Grandma tattooed on my back of yours. And he said, you know, that's a nice compliment, but you really should have put it on your arm. Everybody knows that's really where you should have put it.
When he started kindergarten, I remember the teacher said, when we have our singing time, Nick is allowed to have self-selection, because Nick didn't do the ring around the rosies. You know, that wasn't ever going to happen.
Gosh, the first time I think he ever came to stay with me alone was when he was 5. I was living in San Francisco, and I picked him up at the airport, and the first thing he said is, "You cut your hair?" And I was like, Nick, because you have to sign for the kid, you know, they've got this little name tag, and he's acting. He's like, "I don't know you." I'm like, Nick, don't say this. You do know me, please. Always very adventurous and really loved just trying different things, just new things. He wanted to eat sushi. He wanted to go to dim sum. He wanted to go have Thai food.
I'd rather go out to an expensive meal than go to Chuck E. Cheese. You know, his favorite sushi.
And of course, we always tease him because he was this very serious kind of kid. You know, the first time we took him to Disneyland, and all the kids are hugging Minnie Mouse or whatever, and he's like, "Okay, Mom, can we go now? My feet are really hurting. It's really time." And he's very, you know, studious, picking all the berries, and I was like, "Okay, let me take a picture and give it to your mom." And he's like, "Oh, hold on." So he smears some berries on his face, and then he mugs like some kid, right? Which is the complete opposite of the way he was going about picking the berries to begin with.
Things revolved around Nick. You know, he was the only grandchild for 10 years, and so he got to experience a lot. Everyone had a very special relationship with him. He was the leader of our family, you know, and my husband and I just got divorced 2 years ago. But him and Nick had a very tight, close relationship.
We always used to joke in the family that, you know, he raised his parents.
When Nick was 6, he started asking for a baby brother. He wanted a baby brother. Nick was the first person to hold him, and Nick was so excited and always told Damon, "God picked a special person to be my brother because we had to wait 10 years for you." And Damon always felt that and will still tell us today, "Remember how you guys waited 10 years for me?"
Just what a great big brother he is. I'm a big brother myself, and I often look towards him as a model because he's just so generous and so loving and so caring towards his little brother.
I'm lucky because I admired their relationship. It was just what every mom wants, is to see her children love each other. He had a couple friends, but he wasn't very social. And then he got into academy, and then he met this group of boys.
It was really more in 7th grade when our whole kind of group was pulled together.
We're basically nerds because we all made friends in the advanced math class.
And they really bonded when one of the boys died in a car accident.
That was a real turning point in our friendship. It did bring us very much closer together.
Our friendship could be characterized as normal before that, but after that it was sealed with something more. Like, we really are brothers?
Nick's always been active in his community, and his always played hockey and different sports, was always interested in debate and politics, and I think that was the reason he became captain of his debate team.
We got to sing in Carnegie Hall, which was just a great experience as musicians for both of us, and we had a blast hanging out together in the city and exploring and going to the Empire State Building.
Piano recitals and lessons. So he's busy, and he really appreciated having Nick time, is what he called it. He needed Nick time.
So smart, so passionate about what he did, debate, hockey, ultimate, whatever.
It's a very acute, very beautiful sense of humor. And even when we would chat, a little game to see who could get the best twist of phrase in, or like the best cultural reference or music reference or literary thing.
Nick was a rare personality in that he was so passionate about life and knew when he could have a lot of fun and also when he needed to take things seriously.
Nick has kind of a profundity of personality that is rather uncommon. And, you know, a lot of the time he can be a little bit capricious on the surface. Beneath that, and more fundamental to his personality, he's a very stable guy.
He just was filled with integrity. It was easy for him to make decisions because he knew himself so well.
I always felt like he did know where he wanted to go in life.
You know, Nick was very zen and very simple, just like his bedroom at home. No posters, the pictures he had hung up were very particular pictures.
He's very particular, whether it's about music, whether it's about his literature, certain poets that we'd talk about, certain ones he was like, don't have time for this, blah, blah, blah.
And he'd always tease me about watching bad television or not reading good literature or not being involved with current events like I should. And I remember sometimes I would stick my In Style magazine in the middle of his Economist and turn the pages like I was reading the Economist magazine. I mean, he tried explaining to me this existentialism I don't know how many times.
He always had a penchant for philosophy. He took a class on Kant, which we all thought was funny at the time.
Well, he was a very serious guy, serious about his studies, serious about what he was reading about and what he was thinking about.
And this started at a young age. He had read The Catcher in the Rye. He loved the book, and that was the first book I had leather bound for him.
He spent the whole entire summer just reading.
He had piled books on my bedside to try to get me to read different. And I started The Great Gatsby, and I couldn't put it down. And he's like, tell me, is every sentence in that book so perfect? He loved being on this campus. He loved the history of the school. On Sundays, he would have a favorite place in the library on the second floor that he would sit, where he spent 5 hours on Sunday studying, because he said it's so beautiful.
Really, truly, I've always felt so deeply gifted to be in his life and to have him in mine. And he's kind of like this light that other people gravitate to. You just feel that with Nick, and whether you know him for a very short time or are fortunate enough to develop a relationship with him.
I'm so lucky that my son shared every bit of his life with me. I feel like I knew this child. He was willing to be open with me and let me know him for the true person that he was.
Bottom Lake, pair of brown eyeglasses. Won't find them, so hard have I tried.
If you have any information regarding the disappearance of Nicholas Garza, please contact the Middlebury Police Department, or you can check his website for daily updates, nicholasgarza.org. This is Eva Sollberger, reporting for 7 Days.